Hello and welcome to the HQ Movie Review Podcast. I'm Josh.
Oh,
wow, different order this time. We don't know what to do.
And I'm Brandon.
Back from hiatus, it's me, Rachel.
I'm Jack.
And this week we watched The Matrix.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually was completely coincidental. It has nothing to do with the recent release of the fourth installment of the series.
I mean, if you're not counting the Animatrix, sure, yeah, fourth.
Oh god, we're really gonna bring that up right away.
We're really just choosing violence immediately.
Our names are out of order. Who knows what goes now?
Oh man, this movie, so iconic.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's as old as I am.
Stop it.
You know that causes me almost as much pain as the bug in the belly button scene.
You were physically uncomfortable during that scene.
It hurts.
It was great.
There's a lot of childhood trauma involved in that scene.
We learned about a new weakness Josh has.
Did your brother, put caterpillars on your stomach as a child, or?
No, it was that movie.
What
It
the
was just
fuck?
that?
That was really specific.
I'm
Yeah,
just
Brandon,
saying,
you have something you want to talk about?
no, I'm just saying, if it's that deep of a trauma, did your brother, pin you down and say he was gonna do that to you or some shit?
No, I was 7 when this movie came out, and it traumatized me.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, I guess if I watched a rated R movie when I was 7, I'd probably not like
Is this
that
rated
much.
R?
Yeah.
It
Yes,
is.
it's rated
It's
R.
wild to
You
think that. 'cause
watched
It doesn't
a-
seem like it.
Yeah, which is really weird because I don't think...
He's
I would
probably
not
all
think
the
my
murder.
parents would have let me seen it, but I was really young when I saw it. So yeah, that sequence, still gives me the shivers.
Speaking of core memories that were unlocked by rewatching The Matrix, I remembered that in middle school, my science teacher had us watch a animated short called The Matrix.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
M-E-A-T, Matrix?
Yep. It was about factory farming, and it was animated, and Neo was a pig, and Morpheus was a cow, and Trinity,
What's his name? Morpheus?
I think it might have been, actually.
That is terrible.
But no, the worst part for me, the part that really stuck out in my memory, is that Trinity was a chicken, but like a chicken that had been freed from factory farming, and they chose to portray this by giving her titties.
You gotta be kidding me.
She had like cleavage.
Hey, I just pulled up the cover art, and it's terrible.
So, wait, hold on. Was that the portray... That was specifically to portray that she'd been freed? Were there other female chickens who were still in, factory farming who didn't have?
Those were the only speaking characters in this.
Of course.
Do you remember the actual name of it? Because it has you know how the next one is The Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolution.
I remember that there was a second one, but we only ever watched the first Matrix.
Okay, well the second one is The Matrix Relaunched.
That's not even... That's just dumb.
But so the cover art, it's not even they're animals just walking around. They're anthropomorphized, except only in the sense that they're standing up.
They're standing up and they're wearing Matrix clothes.
Yeah.
And they're made in MS Paint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Jack, you're the only one that doesn't have it pulled up.
I didn't
It's so
actually want to
bad.
see it.
It's so bad.
I mean,
This
for one,
is-
it's terrible for an audio medium. This is not... But also,
Go look it up, people.
it's terrible to look at.
Or don't. You know.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
But The Matrix, am I right?
Yeah. So the actual Matrix, man, so many scenes from this movie have been spoofed.
Yeah, it actually was kind of odd watching them done, sincerely. Because you're so used to seeing, the, action music and the slow-mo and, all of these effects done as, a joke.
I mean, that's kind of like the trap. If you do something and it becomes iconic enough, then by the time that people go back and see the original work again, it's been done. And you think oh man, this is corny, this is overused, but they did it first. It's not their fault.
It was new when they did it.
It was new.
Yeah.
They had the ideas.
There were so many CG effects in this that now look not so great, but at the time, that was like peak.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no. There's a lot of stuff that really stands out. He was right. There really was no spoon there. There's nothing. It's not even a CG spoon.
Like, I remember the sequence where he's supposed to try to jump between the buildings and he falls, and when he lands in the asphalt, just kind of like
His Looney Tunes
Yeah.
like
hole.
Looney Tunes around him, right? I remember seeing that as a kid and going, wow, that looks crazy cool. And now I'm just like, I don't know about that one.
One thing I liked about that scene, just rewatching it, was they did the whole, like, no one's ever done it on their first try before, and then he actually doesn't do it. Because at that point, the trope was, no one's ever done it on their first try before, and then they do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so they subverted that trope, which now at this point, the trope is that you subvert the trope. And you say no
Yeah.
one's ever done it before, and then they just fuck up.
So it's, yeah, just a really iconic movie
Yeah.
in
Like,
so many ways.
like they really kind of hold true to the whole everyone trying to figure out if he's the one or not. And he doesn't become the one until he thinks that he can be. And then that's the point. Because up until that point, he's just kind of good.
Yeah. He's got the gift.
Yeah. He's just like, hey, you're kind of good at it, but you're nothing special.
I mean, no, he definitely was also special. He just wasn't the special.
It did have, in the early half of the movie, it does really fall into the mediocre leading man syndrome, surrounded by people that are infinitely better at this than him.
Yeah.
But he learns fast.
He learns kung fu real fast.
I still love that.
It's such a, like, even in the moment, that's such a weird cheesy. It's like, I know kung fu. Like, yeah, you know a bunch of other stuff too.
Well, I mean, it was supposed to be just like he learns jujitsu, then he learns drunken boxing.
Yeah, that was in the list.
I like to imagine for the last 10 hours, it was just him sitting there. He wakes up, I know this. And then he gives him another thing. He goes back to sleep for 30 seconds. I know this. And the one guy's just so tired of it.
Tank's like, please, I'm begging you, shut up. I know what you know. I'm putting the programs in.
Tank's like, he's been at this for 10 hours. He's like a machine. he didn't actually say it like impressive.
It was a
He's
much
just
more
like,
subtle metaphor, but still.
Tank says, I've been sitting here for 10 hours.
oh, but yeah, I just love that sequence where he just wakes up, sees Morpheus, and just goes, I know kung fu. And that's it. That's his only response to like waking up and seeing Morpheus. It's just, I know kung fu.
I mean,
And then Morpheus' response is just, show me.
Yeah, prove it. Scrub.
Fight me, little bitch.
Yeah, that's literally it. And this is, mind you, they were like, after 10 hours of doing this, which, you know, they don't really kind of show it putting a drain on him, but like the way that they implied it in that morning where he's like, man, you're going to be really tired after doing all this training, it's supposed to be very tiring.
Yeah. We also never really see what it's like from the perspective of someone getting the download as it happens.
Yeah.
So we don't know how long that took, like, for his brain to process.
You really just kind of get the general, the brain makes the body believe it kind of thing. So you have to kind of just assume that the process of learning all that is giving him the fatigue of having learned all of that.
Yeah.
And, but like, and then he does that for like 10 hours, which is seemingly very impressive. So he's got to be really freaking tired. And then Morpheus just goes, all right, fight me.
I want to know what was on the early training videos
Yeah.
that they didn't do because they were boring.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like, all right, this is some normal processor stuff, but that's boring. We're going to skip it. And I'm like, hold on. What if that was important?
Yeah, that's orientation.
Maybe if you watched that, he would have made the jump the first time.
That's it. That's why he wasn't the one immediately. He missed the one program.
Yeah, we can make anyone the one. Here's a program. Here's a chip for it.
Here's the one floppy disk.
Something I didn't pick up on until this time around, is that they don't pull people out that are as old as Neo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that like it's normally like when they're much younger so that they can adapt and adjust to it. And so there was that whole roadblock as well, that he's, you know, he's too old. He doesn't he doesn't have the flexibility that all the kids in the Oracle room that are just astoundingly better at manipulating the Matrix than him have.
And isn't the only reason they know about him and pull him out is because he's a hacker and just found out through hacking that the Matrix exists?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember ever being told why Morpheus thinks that Neo is the one.
He just believes.
He just is like, hey, this is the guy. And it's like, okay, what did he do? What did he say? What about him makes you think that he's the one? He's just some ordinary random hacker dude.
I think it's part of the fact that he was already rejecting the Matrix as an adult, someone who is, by the movie's own rules, conditioned to be more receptive of the Matrix and reject it less. He was an adult who was rejecting the Matrix on his own before he found them.
Yeah,
So that's gotta say
okay.
something.
That's true, because the origin of the one was the one person who like figured out, hey, this is the Matrix. He learned to control it, and then he freed other people.
Yeah. Also, I did want to point out to you guys that the way I wrote down that he was pulled out late was that Neo was too old to be a Jedi.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Think about it. He's the chosen one.
This is outrageous. It's unfair.
So the other thing I thought of, speaking of the kids in the Oracle room, right? One, either the kids are just hanging out with the Oracle all the time, which is weird because they wouldn't be there unless they'd all been unplugged, right?
Yeah.
And then they're sitting in a ship somewhere hacking into the Matrix and then just hanging out with the Oracle. Or there's just that many kids who get sent on a daily basis to go see if the Oracle says they're the one.
Maybe the Oracle only takes meetings on certain days.
Yeah. I mean, they said that like there are other ships pulling people out, so
I guess.
I'm pretty sure all those kids were just in other ships hacking into the Matrix.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like there were a lot of kids in there
Yeah.
for, being tested. But
I think in the later movies they say something like 1% of the population naturally rejects the Matrix, which is like a ton of people.
Yeah, that is a
Yeah.
lot of
That's a
people.
lot.
That's so many people. So it makes sense that there's just all these kids like, hey, is this him? No? Okay.
But I mean, I guess there are probably some that end up like growing out of it just because they never like get like recruited,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
Speaking of which, speaking of being rejecting the Matrix, I just love Agent Smith's little, speech where he talks about how like the first original Matrix was like this utopian society where everyone was supposed to be happy, and then everyone's response was, "This can't be real."
Yeah.
Like, this is too good to be true,
It's-
literally, and everyone rejected it.
It's funny in a sad sort of way.
It's funny in a sad sort of way, but also if you think about it, I feel like everyone's idea of a utopia is different enough that you can't create like that truly perfect world. And so someone's going to end up rejecting the Matrix that way, and then it's all going to kind of fall apart.
That's also true.
Yeah. It was funny to me that they're just like, hey, we tried being nice. You guys didn't like it. So we just made the world as it was.
I want to know if in the new Matrix it's still 1999, because they said in this one that they actively chose to make the Matrix 1999.
Well, I think in either 2 or 3, whatever one that they meet the architect,
I'm pretty sure it's 2.
he says that there's actually been a ton of Matrixes.
Yeah, they keep
Yeah.
rebooting it every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because
so,
otherwise, everyone in the Matrix will be like, hey, wasn't it 1999 last year? Well, it still is.
yeah.
Got a software update. New graphics.
Happy New Year, it's 1999 again.
Yeah, so I think that is supposed to be the thing, is that it's just always, that era of like
Yeah.
1999-ish.
I
And they
think
just keep rebooting.
I think that we would have avoided a lot of issues if we had made the human race hunter-gatherers in the Matrix.
Yeah, probably.
Number one, no hard line to get out. Number 2, no concept of living in a simulation.
Yeah, no concept of computers or simulations.
Just get Barry, domesticate dog. That's it. That's all they gotta do.
Like, how hard would it be for them to, like, even if people did make it out of the Matrix, do you know how hard it would be if no one knew how to type? How slow getting anything done would be?
They gotta develop tools. We gotta get through the whole Bronze Age.
Yeah, they get out of the Matrix and like, what the fuck is a hovercraft? What is a craft? What?
Yeah, I was gonna say they get out of the Matrix, and all of a sudden there's just like technology from 200 years in the future just lying around, and they have to figure out how it works.
Like, if you're hunter-gatherer and you get out of the Matrix, you just saw God, and that's it. Like, you're not gonna question it.
Well, yeah,
All
that's
right.
the other thing is, before we jump off, you said, like, wait, did you say 200, 2000?
Yeah, 200.
Yeah, 200 years in the future is what they got to deal with now.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Is like, imagine like already where they are right now. If like they come out of the Matrix, they go from 1999 technology to 2199 technology. Just put this in perspective, right? Let's go back even just 100 years. Just 100 years worth of technology. That puts us at 1921. Right?
22.
Try again.
22. Sorry.
Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year. 1922, right? You know what the technology in 1922 was? They might have had the like first production cars coming into the market.
I remember the Great Gatsby. They had big cars with no seatbelts.
They had speakeasies.
Yeah.
That's all the technology you need. Secret booze.
Yeah.
So you got, some basic electricity. You've got some early cars.
You got fireworks.
Right? You take someone from that society, right? From that level of technology, and you give them an iPad.
There's no Agent Smith. It's just the eyes of Dr. T.J. Eccleston. Always watching.
Like, and now imagine you go back 200 years in the past, right? And then their level of technology is horse and carriage.
Yeah.
Daisy's green light is actually just lines of code.
So, could you imagine just waking up and out of the Matrix, right? And then there's just super futuristic technology lying around. There's no one left to explain how it works.
Yeah.
You just have to figure that shit out. And you've got like ports and shit all over you.
It's like how 90% of the time, like, archaeologists find something from an old civilization. They're just like, yeah, this was a religious thing.
Yes, for ritual purposes.
Because they have no idea what it was.
Yeah, now imagine it's actually future tech.
I'm always reminded whenever it's like, oh yeah, like we vastly improved technology throughout these last 100 years. The founding fathers of America didn't know dinosaurs existed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they had no idea that dinosaurs were on the earth at one point. We had found massive bones, but we had no idea what they went to.
Yeah, it's crazy just like how much technology has progressed, even over just the last 100 years, much less last 200-300 years. And then just the time gap between now and 2199. Could you imagine just how much different technology is going to be by that point?
No, I'm honestly still kind of shook by the founding fathers thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm actually having a crisis over here now.
Yeah. Why do you think they didn't mention the the dinosaurs?
The founding dinosaurs.
Why didn't they think they mentioned the dinosaurs in the Constitution?
Because it's not relevant.
Or maybe it's because they just didn't know.
Yeah, of course, that's it.
Yeah, just like the whole principle of just coming out and being like, we have a hovercraft. It's wild. Did they have a timeline for like when when the resistance started?
They said it was they said that humanity fell apart early 21st century.
Yeah.
Which tracks.
Yeah,
And
we're still there.
yeah.
You see, the problem with that is that it's after humanity unites. So we're never going to get there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we just united because we were excited about AI. Like, I didn't think that we like fully united.
I feel
Yeah,
like
no.
this movie scared people off of AI.
Yeah, no, they specifically
enough.
said like we invented AI and then like the people as a whole all united and then the AI just went, how about we take over?
And then we scorched the sky, which
Yep.
also tracks.
Is that before or after Sokovia?
Yeah, like I love the future human logic is, yes, we made them all solar powered. Let's just get rid of the sun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what if we
exactly.
kill the sun? We can't kill all of these robots.
There's nothing that could possibly backfire on us about killing the sun.
It's not like
Yeah.
we need the sun for anything,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
heat, light, food growth.
Yeah. We don't need the sun for anything. And also, there's no other potential power sources for them. I mean, honestly, the machines could have just been like, all right, fuck you, nuclear power. What
The
now,
I
bitch?
think it would have been really funny if they decided to revert to gasoline.
Yeah.
The machines knew dinosaurs existed.
Like, that's the thing is the machines could have chosen any power source. The machines went, all right, fuck you. Now you're our power source.
See, that's the problem with AI. We gave it spite,
Yeah.
and it overrode logic. Humans are terrible batteries.
Yeah, humans. Yeah. I love they're like, yes, humans are more powerful than a 120-volt battery. And it's like, what? That is just actually wrong.
I wonder, did they just like make that number up, or is there some calculation they did?
There's no calculation that exists that would even possibly, like, come up with that number.
Josh, you underestimate the power of being bad at math.
Okay, all right. There's no correct calculation that they could do.
Well, of course not. It's wrong. That's
Like,
not
there's
the
no
point.
correct estimate that they could do that would even be close to that. Now, I don't know about the BTUs thing because they mentioned like the thermal output. I think that was really high because I think 25,000 BTUs is something like enough to heat like a whole half a house.
I mean, listen, how much time do I have to like produce that much heat? I could probably do it given the amount of time.
I mean, that's true. You know, it's like maybe this is an annual figure.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. But it's certainly not 120 volts because that's a potential energy thing and has nothing to do with time. So,
Listen, the computers aren't doing this because it's like the most efficient way to do it.
yeah.
They said, hey, fuck you guys. We're going to punish you for all eternity by making you into our batteries.
Yeah. Maybe if you had like 1 million humans all like connected up, you might get a 120 volt battery.
I mean, they've got billions.
All right, cool.
They can make as many as they want. They grow them like apples.
All right, cool. They have 1 billion. That's like a couple thousand volts. Hey.
Where are you getting these numbers from? Do you just know this?
No, but like,
You just
The-
you
the-
seem so sure about that. Like a billion
Well,
humans.
what I-
so
what
that's
I-
like 1,000 volts.
I mean, what I do know is that like humans have electrical potentials of like millivolts. It's like 1,000th of a volt, right? So if you had 1 million, get like a couple hundred,
Mm.
right?
This is America. We don't do metric here.
I don't know. I'm just doing rough math here. The numbers don't actually matter. The point is that you're not gonna get 120 volts like they say, and it's just really hilarious.
I think one of the bigger issues is that they need to like give the human the energy it needs to survive.
Yes,
You know?
Yeah, they're like, oh yes, we liquefy the old like dead bodies and feed it to. It's like, hold on, there is not nearly enough dead people to like feed an entire population. You have to be like giving food to them, so you have to be growing food. Which, how are you growing food? There's no sun.
Food's all people.
Food's all people.
Yeah.
You liquefy the ones that you need.
You are what you eat.
Oh, that's really
Don't
morbid.
say that.
No, that's really morbid because then that just means that they're making like they're
Food soup?
making people specifically.
They're making good soup.
So anyway,
I really like that the I'm changing the subject completely now.
Please, yes, thank you.
I really like that the fight between Morpheus and Smith is a perfect like middle fight for this movie.
Oh yeah.
One, all of the fight scenes are actually very good.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
they're
Not just-
amazingly choreographed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even talking about just choreography, which it is amazing, but like from a narrative perspective, they're all really good fight scenes. They tell you a lot of information. They all fill multiple roles in the story. Like,
They scale very well.
yeah, they scale extremely well. The first fight between Neo and Morpheus is like, all right, these two guys are now both very skilled combatants, but Neo still doesn't believe. He doesn't have all of the power he could have because he doesn't know how to utilize it. And even if he did, he doesn't believe he's the one. So Morpheus is always going to best him. And then the second fight between Morpheus and Smith is a perfect, like, hey, first it's a payoff to them saying, hey, don't fight the agents, you can't win. It's also a good scale of, like, you saw how Morpheus was in that first fight, here's how he compares to an agent. And then it's a call forward to Neo's fight with Agent Smith at the end of the movie, where you see just how far Neo has come. Because we saw Neo fight both of these two people, you could see exactly how much he's grown and how much he's come into his own and his powers.
Yeah, and even in like just the subway scene where, you know, he just fights him for the first time, where, you know, they go back and forth and they're very evenly matched, and he's finally gotten to the point where not only has he surpassed Morpheus, but he's on equal footing with an agent. And then later on, when he actually, you know, sees the Matrix,
Once he's the fully realized one.
yeah. Once he fully realizes his power,
Once he's mastered the Avatar state,
then he just kind of like, no.
yeah, he fights him with one hand literally behind his back.
Yeah.
Looking incredibly bored.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't even have to try. Then jumps into him in the weird CG of like exploding Agent Smith from the inside out.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but that's fine.
Well, he stops the bullets and then does that.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
but we're just talking about the fight.
Yeah.
Also, another point I really liked about that last fight is that you can see that he's not just like learning, he's not just using the moves he learned from like the training programs. He is starting to use the agent's moves. Like at one point, Agent Smith like locks his arms and then headbutts him a bunch of times, and then later in that same fight, he does it right back to him. Like he locks his arms and headbutts him a bunch in the exact same way, but from the opposite side now. So he's not just learning to fight like them; he's learning to fight better than them. So it's really cool. It's much better than the fights in like Star Wars Episode 3, where it's just they fight for 3 pages.
And that came out after this.
It did.
Yeah.
I love the iconic line of "You move like they do." It has been used in so many parodies now that I kind of forgot that it was in this movie.
Yeah, there's so many lines in this where I'm just like, oh yeah, that did come from this, didn't it?
There was one thing I didn't like about that I didn't really notice until this watch through is how emotionless she is in that scene. But because she's just like, how did you do that? You move like they do. And her face is just nothing.
Yeah, it's because this was the original serious version. You're so used to the parodies where they're like over exaggerating everything.
I kind of agree with Brandon on this one. I feel like, honestly, as a whole, we should have seen more range out of Trinity.
Yeah, no, they did absolutely. I think it was a directing thing for all of the characters, honestly.
Yeah.
Everyone is so serious and like kind of robotic. I'm not sure if that's on purpose, but like everything Morpheus says is a dramatic one-liner. Like everything.
It
He has
is.
no normal pieces of dialogue. This man speaks exclusively in one-liners.
But I mean, even Morpheus gets like some opportunity to, you know, have like the nuance, have like be able to showcase other emotions. Everyone in the movie that is still alive at this point, because like, you know, some of the other people really we just didn't see a lot of,
Yeah.
got to have some kind of, you know, opportunity where they were able to exhibit any kind of stronger emotion, with I think the exception of Trinity and honestly to an extent Neo as well.
Yeah. No, definitely them. They have the most lines and the fewest emotive actions, I think.
Yeah, like Neo, I don't know. His was more of just a constant state of confusion. Like,
yeah, confusion and awe.
yeah, like every single line he delivered was almost a question.
In fact, I'm pretty sure that's why one of the jokes that came from this is Neo going, "Whoa," because he just does it so much.
Yeah.
Like he's so shocked at every single thing he sees throughout the entire movie.
That's Keanu Reeves in every movie, though.
There's a lot
Like,
of
I'm
them.
pretty fresh off of watching Point Break, and he does it like 5 or 6 times in there. You know he does it in Bill and Ted, just
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's who Bill and Ted are.
I still haven't seen Bill and Ted.
What?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How?
Brandon.
I thought we watched that together.
You watched it when I
did.
wasn't here.
You missed all of them.
On the note of them not having much depth, I also feel like the love story between Trinity and Neo is terrible. Like,
What love
there's
story?
nothing that hints at it other than she brought him food once. Like, that's it.
There was nothing leading into that.
There are a lot of moments where they're just kind of like their faces are really close together and they stare at each other a bit, and that's really it.
Yeah.
But then again, this was 1999. That's all you needed. You can get away with that.
It's 1999, and it's already like a 2-hour plus movie, so I don't know where they would have fit it in. But I also do think that there should have been something else in there.
Yeah.
Even just one scene of them together having some kind of moment. Maybe.
There was more romance between Mouse and the woman in the red dress that he programmed.
Oof.
That is something that I did not catch as a kid.
Yeah, no.
Was Mouse offering to Neo like, "Hey, do you want to bang her?"
You want to get that red drussy?
Stop it.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, I did not understand as a kid what he was offering. And who was it? Trinity that was literally like, "Hey, stop trying to pimp out your program."
That was a Stitch?
Switch?
Switch.
Switch? Okay.
Switch.
Man, Stitch was there. It was wild.
Oh man. Yeah, that was like a really weird, awkward scene that I did not remember being weird and awkward.
I don't think it's as awkward. I think it like actually establishes character for Mouse, only for him to be killed like 15 minutes later.
It does. Well, I mean, the last thing he did before being killed, or before he noticed he was about to be killed, was he was looking at a picture of the woman in red in lingerie, which
Yeah.
I assume he also coded.
But like, he's one of the crew that has like the most character out of all of them, just because of that. You know?
Yeah.
And yet, I completely forgot he existed.
I also, rolling up to this one, was like, who the hell is Mouse?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't really do anything besides that.
No, that's literally it.
He's the first guy to die when their building gets raided.
Like, all the other characters, the only ones that I remembered was Tank, the operator, and Switch, because she had white hair, and that was like me as a kid going like, what is that?
Never seen a blonde person before.
Okay.
Not like white hair though.
See, my thing was I remembered Tank and I remember Cypher because I'm like, hey, that's the guy who betrays them.
Oh, and I remember Cypher, yeah.
See, the problem is I don't remember Tank's brother, and even now I'm trying so hard to think of his name. I'm like,
Dozer.
Dozer. I'm like, it's some kind of heavy machinery. That's all I got.
So
As close as I got.
I remembered Tank, Dozer, and Switch, but I remembered Switch because of her final line. Because that line actually has like a good amount of emotion.
No,
Yeah,
it really
you
does
know?
actually.
That's
Oh, yeah.
That was the other thing I remembered about Switch. Was her hair and just looking at the camera going,
Not like this.
not like this.
I mean, that is kind of rough to be spending basically your whole life fighting for something and then to not even be able to, like, try and fight at all.
Yeah, you're completely
The thing that
helpless.
kills you.
Yeah, like, hey, we're gonna like teach you how to fight. We're gonna like bring you back to the Matrix where you can do all these unique special things. Like you can jump between rooftops. You can like hand-to-hand fight like the best fighters in the world. You can do things that you couldn't even possibly imagine.
You could download like any knowledge you could ever possibly need.
Yeah. You can do anything in the Matrix, basically. Like, if you can imagine it, you can pretty much do it. And then to be so helpless knowing that someone's just gonna unplug your brain.
And it's someone with a soul patch, no less.
And it was one of your teammates, like one of the people who you live with on a daily basis
For 9 years.
Yeah, for 9 years, and you know there's nothing that you can do, and he's just going to unplug your brain, and you can't fight it. That helplessness is mind blowing to me.
It's mind blowing to her too.
That did look like a really good steak that he had, though.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It made me think. There was a solid chunk of this movie where I was sitting there thinking, why don't they just go into the Matrix sometime so they can have like good food? Because they were all complaining about the tasteless nothing. And I understand that it would not sustain them. But you know what?
be nice.
Gushers don't sustain me, and I still eat like 10 packs of them at once.
Exactly.
So
I think it's just more of a danger thing to be going into the Matrix.
but they've got these like side programs. Why can't they make they can make
Let's make a
red
fancy-
dress girl
yeah.
program, but they can't make eat some pizza?
Well, they have to know what pizza tastes like, and they have to program that.
They don't
All-
actually know what pizza tastes like.
Yeah. All of their stuff, they have to program manually. Like, they have to program that.
That's a good point. Like, they don't even have the thing to watch the video, like, from Matrix, because that's part of the Matrix.
They can download every gun imaginable and whatever floor-length leather duster they want, and they cannot program a smoothie?
Well, to be fair, they don't know what the guns taste like.
Yeah, I was going to say, they don't know what the jackets taste like.
I think someone out there had to have like licked their gun because they're just that obsessed, you know? They might have known what a gun tasted like because they could make a gun in Zion.
Look, I don't think they got that one assassin from Assassination Classroom to, like, get unplugged.
I was trying to think of a natural way to make that reference. I'm glad you just didn't. Because we would have been here all night.
Look, I was like, I gotta do it.
I will say, a very clever thing I liked about Cypher's character is that in the beginning, all of the references to the truth are made using Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
And he is the first person to use a different reference when he makes a Wizard of Oz reference instead. I think it's like, hang on, Dorothy.
Yeah.
Something, whatever. But it's a very subtle nod that he is not on the same wavelength as everyone else.
That's true, yeah.
So I thought that's clever.
This is completely unrelated, but I would like to go on record and say that Thomas Jefferson collected fossils. So at some level, the founding fathers did know about dinosaurs.
Well, they knew about the bones.
What kind of fossils?
They knew about the bones.
Yeah,
They were
that's what I said.
familiar with the study of paleontology.
Yeah, but that includes like leaves and shit from that time period as
Thomas
well.
Jefferson was like, there's nothing but ancient shells.
Yeah, and so they would find like shellfish fossils and things like that, but we didn't have like a full dinosaur skeleton at that point.
There's a lot of related Google searches that are, did George Washington know about dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Good.
Which president did not know about dinosaurs? Who was the president with dinosaurs? What was first dinosaur discovered?
Who was the president with dinosaurs? Like, they had a pet dinosaur.
No, Richard Nixon's running mate was a dinosaur. I'm pretty sure Spiro Agnew is some kind of, like, Spinosaurus. Don't ask me any other president, vice president, like, combo. I don't know.
I mean, you can get the recent ones.
Well, the recent ones, yeah, but, like, I wasn't alive for Nixon Agnew.
I don't even remember who's the vice president under Bush.
Which
Shit.
one?
The one that I was alive for.
I know this.
Hang on, I want to go back to the food thing. How did the robots know what pizza tasted like?
They didn't.
They
That
had
was
a whole
Mouse's whole
conversation
point.
about
But
it.
they said it was good noodles when he said,
Yeah.
he was like, I have noodles, it's good
Oh,
noodles.
yeah, no.
So they know what noodle tastes like.
No,
Well, no,
they just
know
know
what
how to make good noodles.
tastes like. Those noodles could taste like anything, but it tasted good, and that's the important part.
Well, they should have just downloaded good.
Yeah, but you can't
Yeah,
just
that's
download
dopamine.
good.
You wouldn't download a car.
You don't know me. I would absolutely download a car.
They download gun.
I got my car off Carvana. I did kind of download a car.
Yeah, you did.
I got my Tesla online, too, so I kind of did as well.
I don't have a car. Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney. How could I forget Dick Cheney?
Yes. Oh my goodness. That was actually bothering me.
I mean, like, what has he done aside from shooting that one guy in the woods?
Are we confident that Dick
What?
Cheney knew what dinosaurs
hang
were?
on.
Hang on,
Hold
Dick
on,
Cheney
Brandon.
shot someone?
Wait, you didn't know that
Brandon,
Dick
you don't
Cheney shot
know?
someone?
No! I was 10 when he stopped being vice president.
I was a child too, and I know that Dick Cheney shot someone.
Yeah. They went on a hunting trip and he just shot a dude in the head.
Was it an accident?
That's
Claimed
what he said
it was.
Maybe. Allegedly.
Listen, if you shoot someone in the
Damn.
woods and no one's around to hear
Was
it,
this while he was vice president?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good lord.
because I don't know what he did after being vice president. He stopped existing in my brain.
That's what he and Aaron Burr have in common. they
Yeah.
both shot someone as vice president.
And then never became president.
Yeah. I feel like Dick Cheney is also the villain in our history books.
Oh man.
Speaking of guns, I think it's really funny how in the final fight, Neo and Trinity walk into this building and they don't reload once. They shoot like 1,000,000 rounds and they're just like, gun's empty. This gun's garbage now.
Yeah.
They bring like 75 guns, 0 ammo.
Yeah. You got what's in the clip and that's it. Don't need any more.
Gerald Ford shot 6 people in one day.
What the fuck?
But was this as vice president?
He was president.
Well, I'm currently
unrelated
on
to
an
my
article
question.
that says when vice presidents shoot people.
Okay, so yeah, see, there you go.
Isn't Gerald Ford the one who was never voted in?
Maybe. I think
Because
so.
he's the one after Nixon. Because Nixon's VP stepped down during Watergate investigations. And so Gerald Ford was put in as VP from like just the Senate
Congress or
and
something.
yeah, just from Congress. And then Nixon stepped down and Ford went up. And so he was never voted president, but he became president.
And then he shot 6 people.
No, that was as vice president. Pay attention.
So I'm trying to scroll through to find out the context, but I do need to read this paragraph.
Okay.
I'm sorry that this isn't about the Matrix, but this is immensely funny. In any event, as long as the victim does not die, the opportunity to send a message ought not be overlooked. Keep in mind, getting shot is not the end of the world.
Unless it is.
Yeah, that's
How many of our vice presidents have shot people? Like, I understand, yeah, a lot of them from the older times because they literally fought in the war.
I mean, I just assumed
But-
it was dueling, but
Yeah, well, dueling stopped after a certain point.
we just
Yeah.
stopped talking about it.
How many hunting trip accidents were there?
I do remember my U.S. history teacher in high school saying that Congress got a lot more shit done when they would threaten to shoot each other.
I mean, it's
Yep.
true.
Are we just waiting on that vice presidents that shot people?
Yeah.
Or?
Apparently it's just the 2, actually.
Huh.
Three. Aaron Burr, Dick Cheney, and Gerald Ford.
No, I can't even find the Gerald Ford thing anymore. Apparently what I was
Maybe that
reading
was his
was
president.
talking points for the event that a vice president shoots someone, and I'm pretty sure the NRA wrote it. So I'm not sure about the validity of the Gerald
So
Ford
Gerald
thing
Ford
anymore.
didn't shoot 6
Hang on,
people.
I'm working on
No,
it.
he shot 6 people as president.
Like, that's a bold claim. You're like, hey, this random person shot 6 people. I mean, believe it or not.
Gerald Ford survived 2 assassination attempts.
Okay.
Good for him.
I cannot find anything
mean, we
about him
didn't vote him
shooting
in,
6
so.
people.
I didn't vote for him.
Well, I'm going to go on record and rescind that Gerald Ford shot 6 people in one day because I cannot find any kind of verifying article.
See, but now the title of this episode has to be Gerald Ford shot 6 people in one day.
No, it doesn't.
you have to
No.
make the print.
Wait,
you have to put
wait,
allegedly
hang on.
in there somewhere.
Is Gerald Ford still alive? That's very important before we do anything with the title of this episode.
I thought that it was going to be you wouldn't download a gun. That's not Gerald Ford. Who the heck is that?
Jack writes down, he wouldn't download a gun.
He died in 2006.
Okay, so we're good. Who's ready to play Guess the User Review with HQ Movie Review?
It has a name?
You rhymed review with review?
Shut up. It's the best I could think of in the last 30 minutes.
HQ rhymes with review.
Yeah, but I can't say guess the user review with HQ.
You could.
Why not?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good, actually.
No, you gotta have the movie review at the end of it.
Okay.
He was in the Navy, so he could have shot 6 people in one day.
Yeah.
Not in the Navy.
We're in a game show. Stop talking about Gerald Ford.
I just needed to know.
Brandon, you've seen enough game shows to know that Gerald Ford does come up in conversation.
Why do you think I watch game shows that often?
You're very obsessed with like Jeopardy and stuff.
Yeah, that's a game
Jeopardy's
show.
good.
It's a game show.
Yeah, that's a game show.
Gerald Ford doesn't come up that much on it.
I watch Jeopardy.
Here's the first user review. Oh yeah, the Wachowski brothers, The Matrix, is still that to this day. One of the most exciting talked about science fiction action films of 1999.
Is that the
that-
title?
That's
Yeah,
the title.
How much? That was
Is
like
that also
50%
the
of
first-
review?
Is that also the first sentence of the review?
No, the first sentence is, I remember seeing The Matrix when I rented it on a VHS tape in a video store.
Ooh, same here. In a Blockbuster.
That's the story that they go on to name.
Rip.
There's still one.
Yeah, one.
I think it's funny. We'll come back to that in a second.
Okay.
I think it's funny that Netflix did a documentary about the last Blockbuster. Like, they're not the ones that pulled the trigger.
Sometimes you just gotta.
You ever do your own murder documentary?
I'm going to say it's out of 10 stars.
Yes, out of 10.
I'm going to say that it's only like a 7.
I was gonna say 8.
Because I think that it's a bit of a red herring.
I was gonna say 8, but Josh is notoriously wrong, so I'm gonna say 9.
So we have an 8, 9, and
7.
7.
That's one way to order those, sure.
I have to try and remember them. Rachel is the closest.
Hey.
This person gave it a 3.
Wow.
So when I thought it was out of 5, I was going to say 3.
But the thing is, from their comment, I cannot find out why.
Yeah, it sounds like they really like it. Do they just not understand how the rating system works?
They just say they got it in a Blockbuster, and then they go on to say, oh man, when I tell you that the Matrix movie really blew my mind, I mean it. The story, the action, and the kung fu scenes.
Maybe he also thought it was Maybe he also thought it was out of 5.
I know
should be
Kung
as funny
Fu. Look at how he carries that water. He must know Kung Fu.
God damn it.
No, we're not doing that, all right?
We're done. Give us the next one.
Well, no,
Hold
the guy,
on.
he still goes on to talk about the incredible special and visual effects that combine CGI and the rise of a new breed of action hero. He lists all the main cast, and then he says, it's truly best sci-fi action film of all time from the late 90s, but he gave it a 3 out of 10.
I think he got confused.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
from 2019, too, so it's from, like,
Yeah, I think this person was trying to give it 7 out of 10. They didn't understand which stars were the ones they were voting with and which ones were the the ones you're not voting with.
I'm calling it a point for me.
It is a point for you.
I mean, it's still
yeah,
is,
it is a
Because
point for you, Rachel. You're
Jack-
the closest.
Jack specifically said, Josh, you usually go on the wrong side of the line. And then he went higher than me.
Yeah, I was surprised that you went higher.
Yeah,
I thought you
were
would
gonna
go lower.
Yeah, I thought you were going
Yeah,
to go
see,
way
I thought
lower.
this person really liked it. Also, I didn't say you were like on the wrong side of the line. I just said you were wrong, which you were. So
Yeah, you should have bet. You should always bet on the opposite side of the 5.
That's not accurate though.
It is 100% accurate.
It's, okay.
I am like 90% often the farthest away from the correct answer.
Okay, is it 100 or 90%? Which one is it, Josh?
I said about 90%.
About 90% now. Okay, I see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 90.5.
Sure.
Here's the next one. First hour, amazing. Second hour, corny.
The first hour was the one that you thought was amazing?
And they were really here for that. Like,
Yeah, that's 100% the opposite of what I would have expected.
Okay, so what's your rating, and then opposite that?
That's my problem. Is I get
Josh goes last.
I'm calling it a flat 5.
I'm gonna say 4.
Josh.
6.
Josh got it exactly right.
Holy shit, he's done it.
He's at net 0.
Net 0, baby.
This comment was made on Christmas Day, this last Christmas. But it's they have like a full 7-paragraph essay
Oh my goodness.
about how the dialogue is bad in the second half, and the traitor scene with Cypher is like the turning point that makes it bad. But it's far too long to go over.
Interesting.
Huh.
So that's 1 point Rachel, 1 point Josh.
I can't believe it. I got a point.
Had happen eventually.
It's been like a month and a half's worth of recordings.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, rule large numbers, man. Proud of you.
But now I'm only like 85% accurate. The farthest away.
You could not have possibly done the math on that.
No, absolutely not. I'm just coming up with these numbers off the top of my head.
Josh be out here saying any number that comes out of his mind.
Here's the third one. There's definitely fresh originality in this great movie. Most thrilling and exciting stuff. A must-see.
This person gave it a 10.
I hate when people say incredibly positive things, because if the first one is any indicator, that doesn't mean that they thought it was good.
It's a 6.
All right, I'm gonna say this person thought it was a 10. Whatever number they put as their score, who can say?
Well, you're supposed to be guessing what they put as the score.
I'm
There's
going to
no
say
way.
6.
I don't think any of these people know how scores work.
I'm gonna go above Josh, and I'm gonna call this one a 7 also.
Are you sticking with 10, Jack?
Yeah, sure, fine. I don't care, man. There's no prize for this game.
They gave it a 1.
See? Nobody knows how scores work.
I
They
genuinely,
just say shit.
I guess that everybody that has rated The Matrix perpetually lives in the 90s and does not know how to operate a computer rating system.
That has to be incorrect. There's no way. Like, it has to be a situation like Jack described where they're just selecting the wrong side of the stars.
They just don't know. They just don't know what the numbers mean.
They do exactly know what the numbers mean. They were being super sarcastic in their title.
Are they
them.
really? Fuck you.
They complain about the fact that we don't get to see the city of Zion.
It's in the next one, isn't it?
It is in the
Yes.
next one. It's in the very next one. They complain about like the like climax of the movie being too boring. The fact that humans have to be like rebuilt, like their muscles have to be rebuilt
Why-
once they're out of the Matrix.
That's
That makes
realistic.
That's just accurate.
But yeah, they complain about the dialogue. They complain about the bad acting, which was something we talked about. Like some of the
that's
acting's
fair, I guess.
just not
but
good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't trust any of these people. Either they're being sarcastic, or they're confused, or they don't understand how films work. It's like,
So-
oh, you talked about Zion. Why didn't we see it? It's like, okay, yeah. They talked about a lot of stuff.
So does that mean I get 2 points?
Yes, that means Josh has 2 points and Rachel has 1.
Yay. I guess I have. I mean, total lifetime points. I have 1 now.
No one is counting total lifetime points but you, Josh.
I'm the only one who can.
There's one more. Review.
So it's either
Oh.
gonna be a tie or we're losing to Josh, which is
If we lose to Josh, I think we just have to cancel the game.
if we lose to Josh, then the Matrix is real and we're in it.
I mean, statistically speaking.
I mean, I'm fine with winning the last game.
This last one. Can special effects really make a movie?
Oh, that is so hard. That's so
Jesus.
vague.
the thing that I know is also influencing my decisions is that you choose your tone when you read these things.
I absolutely
And you're
do.
gaslighting the hell out of
Yeah,
us.
for real, though. You knew that one. You knew the other one was sarcastic, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna read this as sincere as possible." These need to be written from now
can't-
on.
See, okay, here's the thing. If I read that last one as sarcastic as possible, you guys would know it was a 1 immediately. I have to make this a fun game show.
Why you're not the
I'm
host of Jeopardy.
I'm gonna go with a 3.
I was gonna say 4 actually.
I was actually also gonna say 4.
You can say 4.
Jack, do you want 4? Which of us wants 4 more?
I don't know. I was
You
gonna
can
guess
both be
15 earlier. I don't care.
I'm taking 4.
Jack, what's yours?
I take it by that you mean you don't want me to take 4.
You can, I mean, you can also take 4.
You guys can both
the
get
points-
4, and you
yeah.
each get a
Right,
point.
I'm sticking with 4.
Josh was 3.
I am
Yeah.
3.
Then give this a 10.
Yeah, see?
Well, I got the point.
So Rachel and Jack get points, but that means
It's a tie.
Josh and Rachel are tied. Now, before we get to the tiebreaker,
There's no way to average this accurately.
the first sentence of their review is, well, obviously so, because that really seems to be the only reason people like this movie.
See, that sounds negative again. They give it a 10?
Yep, they gave it a 10.
They just don't know. No one on this page actually knows how to
Yeah,
click
this
the
is
stars, right?
by far the worst people have ever been at giving these titles and rating them.
This is the most confused I've ever been playing this game.
See, but you guys don't read all of them.
Yeah.
Or not all, like, I don't read all of them, but I read through like a page or two before I find a good one.
So you're saying you picked the worst ones on purpose?
I
Of
pick
course.
ones that will be confusing and vague because it's fun. This person says they give their like synopsis of the movie, and then they say that Keanu Reeves was awesome in it. They're glad to see his stoner image start to fade away.
Are they just talking about Bill and Ted?
They're absolutely just talking.
They
about
don't
Bill.
mention Bill and Ted. They do specifically mention Point Break and Speed.
He was a cop in Point Break.
Well, he was a stoner cop in Point Break,
Was he a
apparently.
stoner and Speed? I don't remember
He was
that
undercover.
No, he wasn't a stoner in Speed either.
detail. Yeah. Just, what?
They say the main problem they have is its story, because it's basically the Terminator again.
Mm,
I'm not sure how much I agree with
seem-
that.
In
There's
the
no
way that there's
time
both
travel.
there's both robots and they're both in the future. That's it.
But yeah, they go on to say that it's an excellent sci-fi adventure. 10 out of 10. 0 out of 3 found it helpful, though.
yeah.
I would agree with the 0 out of 3.
That is from November 2001, though, so that was relatively soon after the movie.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that was a while ago.
That person didn't understand Terminator either.
Wait, this is Amazon reviews, right?
IMDb.
Or IMDb. Okay. So why did I say Amazon? I don't know.
Yes, 2001 Amazon.
All right, the tiebreaker.
Okay, so the tiebreaker is you need to guess the IMDb rating out of 5, but it's to the first decimal point.
Out of 5?
out of 5
Or
to
no,
the first
out of
decimal?
10. Sorry.
Out of
Out of
10.
I don't have it pulled up right now. I'm trying to get to it, but okay.
All of the other ones
It's
are out of 10, though.
Yeah, it's out of 10 to the first decimal point.
This is the IMDb one, so that's the
Yes.
user average or a critic average?
I believe it's a user average.
8.3.
You can steal Josh's only win away from him.
Please do. You have to redeem us.
I have a number in my head, and I'm scared I'm going too low, but the way that this has panned out, I think that I'm going to be closer if I go lower. So I'm going to say 7.6.
Rachel? Mm-hmm. You just gave Josh his first win.
Yeah.
What was it?
It's an overall user review of 8.7.
Okay.
Okay, so I was
There
pretty
are
close.
1.8 million reviews.
1.8
For The Matrix on
million
IMDb.
reviews.
And you picked like the 4 farthest away from the average.
So here's the thing. When I do this for a big movie that has a lot of reviews, I have to just pick a number and find a good one under that number. Because there are so many that if I just read the like main title of reviews that are helpful, they're not going to be good for the game show. I have to go in and be like, sort by 1 star and then look for one.
Sort by 1 star and then look for a positive one.
Exactly.
I feel like I was also kind of banking on the handful of people that watch The Matrix and don't realize that this was the blueprint. And then are like, corny, derivative.
Oh yes, the original movie, Derivative.
Congratulations on your win, Josh.
Yay! I'm happy.
I'm actually like a little bit upset, and that concerns me.
Well, if Heather were here, she would have won.
Probably.
I mean, we can find out.
Nah, no, we're good.
Nah, we're good for this episode.
So, I had one note where I wrote, Trinity just kills a bunch of innocent cops, and I scratched out innocent and regular.
I mean, they could just be taken over by agents as soon as they know they're there.
No, if they're taken over by agents, we see that.
Yeah. No, what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, like, they did specifically have a whole scene where Morpheus is like, hey, just so you know, all these people are the enemy because any one of them can be an agent at
Yeah.
any time.
No, I get that.
I did go through a similar thought process in that scene, though, where I saw Trinity shoot a bunch of people. I was like, those were all humans, and they're all dead now. And it's like, well, they were cops. I guess it's fine.
Yeah. Like, literally, before I rewatched it, I was like, yeah, they do kill a bunch of, like, innocent people. But watching it again, it's like, no, they just kill, like, military and, like, security forces who were trying to stop them, so,
Everyone they shot was shooting back.
yeah.
Now, agents,
No, the
they
agents
killed
kill
a
willy-nilly.
lot of civilians.
Oh, yeah.
You can argue that as, like, because they shoot the agents and then just turn back to the civilians. So in some way, maybe they killed a civilian.
I think
Nah.
that's the agent's
But
fault,
yeah,
though.
I would definitely say that it's the agent's fault for turning into that person.
Yeah.
But, like, the sequence where they're just running through the market, the agents are just killing a lot of
Yeah.
people.
They're just
Yeah.
grabbing people's, like, dads and friends and, like, brothers and sisters and, like, all right, this person's my meat puppet now. Whoops, they're dead.
Yeah.
Next.
Also, they just smacked that one dude like 50 feet over into the stall.
Yeah, they did. He wasn't even doing anything. He was just standing. Anyway, I had one more note, and it was something we did kind of talk about already, but I liked that the specific way that the Oracle words her question makes Neo the one answering it. Like, she's like, yeah, you know what I'm gonna tell you. Tell me what that is. because she says earlier that the only person who can tell you if you're the one is you. And so Neo, in answering a question saying, you're telling me I'm not the one, he's the one answering it because he doesn't believe he's the one. And because he doesn't believe he's the one, he's not the one. And he's not the one, so he doesn't believe. It's a nice little bit of, like, circular logic, but it makes perfect sense. He's not the one until he believes he is.
Trinity is girl boss. The agents are gatekeep. Oracle's gaslight.
Yeah, no, it all checks out.
In fact, I think they literally at one point call the agents the gatekeepers.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this since then.
But no, yeah, I did like that Oracle scene, and looking back, you realize like how much she actually told the truth, and then how much she just had Neo say the shit anyways. You know?
Yeah.
Because she was like, "Yeah, you're not the one right now. You're holding yourself back."
Yeah, basically.
So is Morpheus mansplain or manipulate?
Manipulate.
Manipulate.
Manspulate.
That was bad.
And on that note,
Well, this has been HQ Movie Review, and I'm Josh.
I'm
Nope,
Rachel.
Nope. Tell them where to find us. Tell them where.
Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm Jack.
I'm Brandon.
Good night, everybody. So is Tank male wife?
I thought it was going to be Mouse.
You know, it's definitely Mouse.